let's start next Friday night in South Bend with Notre Dame and Indiana. What's happening here? Side and total. Irish and Hoosiers.
Yeah, the total, a little bit of movement towards Indiana. The Hoosiers have been getting bet. This was 7.5. There was even an 8 in the market a couple of days ago. Now I see all 7.5s, but I do see at a pretty sharp sports book here in Las Vegas, 7 minus 120. So the first 7 has appeared, and there's some other sports books where it's looked like they're going to head to 7 as well. Obviously, we have now 8 days until kickoff between the first round of the CFP between Indiana and Notre Dame, but I think we're going to see some people backing Curt Cignetti and Curtis Rourke and this Indiana Hoosier team, especially with Marcus Freeman not being a traditionally good big favorite. So I think my guess would be more Indiana before we get Notre Dame money, even though the Fighting Irish have been pretty dominant ever since their loss to Northern Illinois the second week of the season.
Yeah, I said it earlier this week, Femi, when we first talked about the sides and the totals for these college football playoff games. You're going to give me 7.5 against Marcus Freeman in a playoff game, and I get Curt Cignetti, I get Curtis Rourke. Give me the Indiana Hoosiers here. Oh, bet's already in. Literally talked about it 4 days ago here. Indiana plus the points on the road in South Bend. You bet tremendous football Thursday. We'll get to Thursday Night Football in a moment, but the other 3 games now in the college football playoff as we move from Friday, December 20th to Saturday, December 21st. It is, in fact, the most wonderful time of the year. Game number 1 on the 21st in Happy Valley. Penn State hosting ACC runner-up SMU. So the Big Ten runner-up hosting the ACC runner-up. Femi, where do we stand right now, Penn State and SMU?
Yeah, we're still hanging out here at 8.5. Earlier in the week, this was like 7.5 when the bracket first came out. Money instantly came in on Penn State. I agree with that move. I like Penn State in this game, even at the number of 8.5. Given James Franklin's big game history, I'm Mr. Anti-James Franklin. I fade him in all these big games, but I think he has the significant talent edge in this game. So I agree with the move. We're even seeing a 9 at an offshore sportsbook as well. So Penn State money has been the early move here with this game between the Mustangs and the Nittany Lions.
Yeah, and I got to tell you, buddy, another game where I'm going to be on the dog here. We're going to bet SMU against Penn State. James Franklin
looks like
in a big
wait.
spot. Favored by more than a touchdown? Yeah. I mean, I placed a bet already, but, might come in with a little more on SMU here if this number is going to keep drifting out. I wonder if we get a 10. Probably not, right?
Ooh,
but we'll see.
I doubt it.
We'll see.
I guess, you never know.
But it's never Penn State for me here. It's SMU. I've learned my lesson, I think, with Penn State. Now it's a big game. This is elimination.
It is.
Big game now.
Very big. Very big.
Which means you go against Penn State. All right. Game numero dos on Saturday the 21st as we head to Austin. Steve Sarkisian, Quinn Ewers and the Texas Longhorns welcome in Dabo Swinney and Clemson, the ACC champions. Femi, what's happening with the 5-seed Texas and the 12-seed Clemson Tigers?
BYOG. Bring your own guts. They're betting Clemson. They're betting Dabo. There's now a 10.5 in the market. Now, 11s are still out there. They still exist. But 10.5s are out there. I know BetMGM looks like they have an 11.5. So if you like the Clemson Tigers like I do, like Nick does, I think BetMGM, it's our home to go ahead and bet the Clemson Tigers, but a lot of the interest has been on Clemson early on. Obviously, Texas did not look impressive in the SEC title loss to Georgia. Quinn Ewers, I mean, come on. Start Arch Manning. Let's get it over with, and let's actually go ahead and prosper Texas. But if it's going to keep being Quinn Ewers, I think a lot of people are going to go ahead and back Clemson because there's not a lot of optimism about the quarterback position for the Longhorns.
Yeah, so that's Texas and Clemson. I'm going to like Clemson in the game as well against Texas. Again, we talked about this days ago. I think this point spread needs to be less than 10. It's not. So Clemson, BYOG. Trying to think of a funny acronym. And CTB, cash that bet, whatever. Clemson for me and Femi against Texas. And then next Saturday night in the Horseshoe. Last time we were there was this flag planting situation that you might have heard of. That now has the local government involved.
Yeah, it might be a felony going forward.
Yeah, if I could quote WWE tag team, former tag team, Enzo Amore and Big Cass. There's only one word to describe all of this, and I'm going to spell it out for you. SAWFT. Soft. Ohio State hosts Tennessee Volunteers. Nico Iamaleava and company. What do we have here with Ohio State and Tennessee?
Speaking of flag planting, you planted your flag on that pronunciation early in the season. I was surprised by that.
That's the first time I've screwed that up since October.
We did the whole, we figured it out. I think it was honestly September we figured it out with the Nico Iamaleava for the Tennessee Volunteers. But Tennessee is getting bet. The 7.5s are now minus 115.
You did that like Adam Silver just now. Nico Iamaleava. Bam.
For life.
For life.
Hopefully he doesn't get caught up like Donald Sterling did. But the Tennessee Volunteers are getting bet. 7.5 is now minus 115. So if you want to lay it with Ohio State, I think you can wait. You might get a 7 in the near future. There's even a 7.5 that's even money as well. The total has also come down because initially when I saw this market, I was interested in the Volunteers and the total. 47.5s are now 47, but there's a pretty sharp offshore sportsbook that has 46.5. So I think I'm going to have to go ahead and bet this pretty soon. I think Tennessee's defensive line against the Ohio State offensive line is the big mismatch in this game. Not saying Ohio State still can't win. They still have talented players all across the board, but I think that Tennessee D-line kind of helps keep this game a closer game, a lower scoring game. So I like the under and I like the Vols, but right now, both of those things are getting bet, so I'm probably going to have to act pretty fast.
Ryan Day favored by more than a touchdown at home in a big spot. What could go wrong? Tennessee plus 7.5 here. Tennessee, I think Ohio State wins at the end, but Tennessee plus the points, easy bet for me to make. I'll be on all 4 dogs next weekend, round 1 of the college football playoff.